time, though, the communist regime took a tough stance on dissent, quickly breaking up the gathering and arresting at least 20 demonstrators. Christian Lemire, Senior Fellow for Naval and Maritime Security at the International Institute for Strategic Studies, says the reason for the response was twofold.
It's done to appease China, but it's also done to make sure that protests are not becoming the norm within Hanoi.
While Hanoi fears anti-China protests could mushroom into wider anti-government movements, Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Dung, speaking at the annual Shangri-La Security Dialogue in Singapore, did chide Beijing indirectly for its aggressive stance in the South China Sea.
Somewhere in the region, there have emerged preferences for unilateral might, groundless claims, and actions that run counter to international law and stem from imposition and power politics.
Territorial disputes in the South and East China Seas have been on the rise, with Beijing increasingly asserting its claims and expanding its naval activities in the waters. Speaking at the Shangri-La Dialogue, China's Deputy Chief of the People's Liberation Army, Lieutenant General Xi Jianguo, justified Beijing's position.
The Chinese government stand has been very clear. Our attitude on the South China and East China Seas is our Chinese sovereignty, and we are very clear about that. So the Chinese warships and the patrolling activity are totally legitimate, and it's uncontroversial to patrol within our territory.
Vietnam and Philippines have been the two most vocal opponents to China's claims to disputed islands and reefs in the resource-rich waters, which are also busy sea lanes crucial to trade. The U.S., too, seeing the rise of China, is rebalancing its strategic interests with the intention to commit 60% of its naval forces to the Asia-Pacific by 2020. And in an attempt to balance and strengthen its bargaining position vis-à-vis China, Vietnam is building up its relations with other powers like Japan, India, and the U.S. But with China as its ideological ally and its largest trading partner, Hanoi is also careful not to sideline Beijing, says Christian Lemire.
He was also keen to stress that Vietnam would not be the base of any foreign military bases, nor would it be aligned with any country militarily against China. So really he was criticising China and also offering olive branches to China to demonstrate that Vietnam is not necessarily an enemy.
In recent times, there have been media talks about a possible reopening of Vietnam's former Soviet and U.S. naval base at Cam Ranh Bay to foreigners. The base is currently home to a Russian defense industry and is the size of a maintenance and repair facility where foreign warships, including those from the U.S., pass through regularly for service. China does fear that this could well be a move to contain it, but Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Dung, keen to promote